welcome back to Drawn Together, the only place on the internet where the plushie talking to you is not possessed by the soul of a vengeful child. I am your host, SkyTeaa, and today we're talking VTubing. So many people come into my chat and ask me about VTubing and about getting their own avatar, and often my advice is to get yourself a PNG avatar before you jump directly into Live2D VTubing, which is what I'm doing right now with this beautiful model made for me by PokePaws. I always suggest that people try PNG tubing. There's a lot of different ways to do it. It's much less expensive, generally speaking, unless you choose a really expensive artist to make your PNG tuber, which you can do. There are very expensive PNGs on the market too, but generally PNG tubing is much cheaper. You can usually do it yourself with things that you already have available to you. It can be hosted within OBS itself, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about VTubing. So you want to disregard my advice and you want to get into Live2D VTubing as soon as possible, but you're a broke bitch, you know? VTubing's expensive. Some models can cost you $1,000 or more, and we don't have that type of money available to us. We're brand new into streaming, and we're going in whole hog. So today, I am here to offer you 7 different artist options that have VTuber Live2D customized to your character, VTuber model commissions available for $200 or less. Obviously, $200 is very expensive, I understand. Thankfully, we don't actually have any that reach $200. The most expensive model we're going to talk about today was $185, which is a lot. But the cheapest one we're going to talk about today was $23. 32 Australian dollars, technically. So very, extremely, incredibly affordable if you want to get into VTubing ASAP. I will say, test VTube Studio with a stream with their pre-made models before you commission your own. Some computers are not built to handle both streaming and VTubing. It is very CPU intensive. Don't jump into it without knowing what your computer can handle, okay? All right, there's my disclaimer. I've done the work, so you don't have to. Scouring VGEN for amazing pre-made models that are not super expensive. I've worked with 7 brand new to me artists. So I obviously am well known for having a model addiction and working with a lot of artists on a lot of different models. But these 7 models all came to me. This was my first time ever interacting with all 7 of these artists. They were wonderful, different. There are a lot of people from across the country. We're going to talk a little bit about VGEN as a platform and all that good stuff. It's going to be great. Also, if you're here over on YouTube enjoying the edited content, please remember to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to be notified when we add new episodes. We've got a new episode coming every 2 weeks, ideally. It's just me and 1 editor, so we're getting it done. We're getting it done when we can. Let's get into the models. This is VGEN, an amazing commissioning platform I am actually a part of. I'm verified on VGEN to take commissions over here. I highly recommend, if you're getting into VTubing or streaming in general, VGEN is the platform to commission on. This is not sponsored, by the way. I am not paid by VGEN in any way. I applied, just like everybody else, to get on this platform. I did my work and I waited for them to verify me. A human employee verifies the realness of every artist that functions on this platform. It is very uncommon to find fake artists or people that are going to try and steal your money or anything like that. And if you do find them, VGEN is very fast very fast at getting rid of them. It's definitely a really worthwhile platform for commissioning. Very safe for both artist and commissioner. There's a lot of great options in place for commissioning that make them make it much safer. You can get a lot of pre-made designs, pre-made models, all sorts of cool stuff. It's not just fully customized pieces. There's a lot of options for getting into VTubing here. And there's a lot of great artists. So we're going to talk about 7 of those artists today. These are all people that I found simply from going through the 2D avatar section of VGEN. I just clicked on it and scrolled looking for things that caught my eye that were within the price range. So we're starting with Papercraft or Gloomy Maid. I'm going to show you all my requests here. I may actually go back for an additional model from them because I enjoy what they did so much. This was my $23 model. Every single one of these was commissioned April 20th, 4/20/2026. We're not going to talk about why I might have come up with this idea on 4/20/2026. May to June was pretty much all of them were done. We're starting with the cheapest, Papercraft, delivered June 1st, 2026 at 5 p.m. Bam. Here they are. The creature from the Black Lagoon. We've got very simple mouth rigging on this one, obviously. It's just a very basic open and shut, but that's okay, you know? We don't need anything fancy, really. For $23, we've got basically a little wiggle body rigged to a head, which tracks your head movement. It actually has quite a lot of spatial movement. It's very whittle. It's very whittle. It's very cute. But yes, it's got a hanging body that sort of dangles beneath the head. It feels like Tomodachi Life when you pick up a Mii. It definitely does have that vibe. It's very bouncy, very cute. Like I said, for a grand total of like $23, this is a really great option. So you can see these are all still available, ready to request today if you wanted to. We've got both the Scrungle Live2D V2 and V1. They also have a bunch of other really wonderful, like YCH style stuff, animated little eating emote memes, some pixel art. There's a lot of really great stuff. I don't think I've seen them ever close their commissions. And this was, like I said, a pretty quick turnaround. They had the artwork done really quickly, and then the rigging took a little extra time. We were done, like I said, June 1st, I believe. This is definitely a good low CPU usage model. They're very simple, very cute. Definitely, I would say definitely eye-catching in terms of how unique it is. I haven't seen a lot of things like this around here, but it doesn't have any, you know, it can't stick its tongue out or anything like that. Very simple, blink and open and shut mouth. But the ears, the whole thing is very bouncy. The rigging is really cute. I kind of love the concept of it. You know, the arms and everything just flailing around. And they put a lot of effort into getting all my details in. You know, I've got stars on both of my thighs. I've got my star paw pads and the little beans. I didn't have to ask for any adjustments to the artwork. They got all the details first try, and I think it came out really, really good. Second up, we've got Chelli. This is our sock VTuber. This one was also commissioned on 4/20 and was completed May 1st. So this one was done in less than 2 weeks. This is a fully rigged VTuber. We paid a grand total of $41.08. We just paid for the base price. We didn't add any upgrades or anything like that to this. They sent me the files and everything. It was all good to go. They did an amazing job. Let me show you the sock. Bam. This one is definitely lower on the mobility rigging side. We don't have a lot going on here. We've got open and close. We do have a little bit of eye tracking movement, as you can see. The eyes are probably the most sensitive part of this. And also, granted, I have not, I could probably up the parameters to make it a little bit more sensitive so that the mouth opens and closes more. Overall, for $40, this is a fully customized artwork. They do both regular sock or paper craft sock. So you can get one that looks like it is like origami, which I thought was a really cool idea. This person does a lot of VTuber stuff as well. Obviously, a lot of these people come up because I'm looking for VTuber content. You can customize the arm that holds the model. I had it customized to look like my VTuber because I thought that was quite funny. Like, rather than having a human arm holding the sock, it's literally just me when I don't want to be. If my VTuber doesn't want to be seen, we just have sock puppet, obviously. There's a ton of VTuber options. They've got model art illustrations, they've got mascot models, and then you can see down here the sock puppet model for starting just under $40, basically. I think I could probably improve the movement a little bit by adjusting the parameters for my face specifically. It's a very cute concept, something that I have toyed with in my streams. So when I saw this available, I was like, this is perfect. Someone has already done the idea that I was throwing around in my brain. They've also got overlays, panels. This person does a lot of VTubing content. They were very receptive, very fast, like I said. This one was done like May 1st, but this is also a pre-made item. So it has, it probably has most of the rigging pre-completed, and they're just adding on, you know, slight movement for wings and ears and stuff like that. You can definitely see that, like, you know, the wings and the ears are attached to the main body. They don't bounce on their own or anything like that. But I think this is a really funny way to start out in VTubing, or if you're really into like puppetry, a sock puppet would be a great way to represent yourself. Next up, I actually was surprised. I thought we were going to be going to MLA next, but when I compared, I think I got some extra toggles with my MLA commission. So what we're actually going to is Atelier Azusa, or Azu, with this absolutely adorable bed YCH chibi model. This one, oh look! Oh, it's so cute. The verified media looks so good. It is a base made for human models. So if you have a human model, you may even pay less than me. I paid for a lot of upgrades with this one. I got a custom pet for Hank, as well as Doug sleeping on the bed. I added the phone and this little cow plushie next to me, but you can make this model much cheaper by choosing to not include all of those extra things. And even then, $73 is not all that much. There it is. I really like how responsive the mouth is on this model. I think it is really, really cute. It's got a lot of fun little details. You can do a lot with this model. A lot of customization, only a little bit of customization. It really depends. I love the ability to add your pets and stuff like that. I did get a tongue toggle for this one, as you can see. I am capable of sticking my tongue out here, this is our first model in the lineup that does tongue stick out. It also has, I believe I have these toggled. It does have some emotes to it. This is the first one, I believe, that has emotes available. But I do believe this one has some emotes. It has like open and closed eyes. There's I think a sleepy option for $73. And like I said, that is because I chose to add a bunch of extra add-ins onto this one, including that customized toggle to be able to stick my tongue out. So you could definitely get this one for much less expensive. And it's very cute. I think the artwork is really unique. Their style really shines through, and they, like I said, they don't do a lot of anthro. A lot of their examples are very specifically human characters, but they really, they tried very hard to make it work, and I think it looks perfect. I think they did an absolutely incredible job. They got all the details that they needed to get in there. It still looks like one of their models. And I think this is a great option if you're just kind of like doing cozy streaming, like you don't want to get too into it. It's something that stays in one place, so you could very reasonably use this if you were perhaps doing a subathon where you're technically sleeping on stream, or like you're staying live while you're sleeping. That was specifically one of the things that I thought when I purchased this model, because every one of these models I chose because I felt like I would have use for it. And this one is just so stinking cute. So stinking cute. I love their drawing of Hank. I loved the Doug. I think it's really, really good. As you can see, here's the bed YCH right here. Starts at $45. So you can see I added quite a lot to this model. You can see in the example here, a lot of things you can add. You can add the multiple pets, you can add controller, lots extra pillows. The phone is fully customized with color and stuff like that. This artist also does other Live2D options. So they've got other base chibi models, YCH mouse tracking VTuber model. So this one is a mouse tracked rather than a face tracked. If you want something that moves but isn't specifically tracked to your face, if you don't have the ability to track your face. They have lots of options, and all of them are extremely inexpensive. For $50, $45, $45, they even do animated logos. They do have full rigs here. Still, a full body, this is art and rigging for $500 is extremely reasonable. This artist did a great job. Let me go back and tell you all. The turnaround time for this one was May 21st. So I waited almost exactly a month to the day for this model, which is, again, an incredibly good turnaround time. When you pay less money, you get a simpler piece, or you wait a longer time. And in this case, I do think, you know, most of the stuff is pre-rigged, so there's not as much movement to it and stuff like that in comparison to some of these other models. You can see that both the sock puppet and the bed, you're paying for the quality of the art and the speed at which it is done, but not so much like a really bouncy, really involved rig. And again, both of those can be acquired for like $50. Next, we come to MLA. Now, MLA, I did add a bunch of toggles and stuff too. So let me pull that one up for you guys. This chibi style VTuber, I fucked up a little bit here. This artist actually offers a furry chibi style VTuber, and I did not go to their page before commissioning this chibi VTuber from them, but they actually have furry styled chibis that are less expensive than the base price for this, which is $50. This piece I added several things to. Basically, if it was available, I tried to add my go-to stuff. So their furry characters are actually less expensive than their humanoid characters, and I didn't see that. So if you're interested in getting something from this person, you could actually do it for cheaper than I did it. They have tons of options that span a wide range of prices, going from these super cutesy little chibis starting at $40 all the way up to an $800 full body art and rig. They've got pets, they've got all sorts of different stuff, depending on the style you want to do. Obviously, all of this is open for requests right now as well. You could also pick up a piece from this today. I think every single one of these artists are still currently open. I don't remember seeing any of them having the commissions that I got closed. There it is! Oh, it's so cute. I love how fat this one is. A lot of people tend to like be afraid to really maximize on the rotundness of my VTuber, and this artist did not shy away from it, and I really appreciate that, honestly. They do not have a tongue tracking. I believe I could probably set that up, I just don't know how to, but it does have a tongue model as well as a tongue toggle that I probably need to set up properly in order to get them to function automatically. I'm spoiled by working with a bunch of people that always set that up for me, because I am not as technologically advanced as I probably should be in this line of work. But it's so cute. I love the artwork. The artwork is really the thing that stood out for me with MLA. It's just really unique. I love, especially when you get into some of these like $200 ranges, I love the silly little simple face with an incredibly detailed piece of artwork. Like, it's like that silly little dot face and then incredibly detailed body. Something about that really cracks me up and I love it. I think their artwork is really gorgeous. It's lovely. And like I said, they did a great job on my rig. This one was the craziest turnaround time. I forgot how fast this one was. Let me just move this fat baby down so you can see. Reminder, I commissioned these on April 20th, 4/20. Final submission, April 27th, 2026. This is including them messaging me directly and sending me the artwork to approve. They are lightning fast. So if you're like, yeah, a week, one single week to finish this model. And you can see, like I said, it's very simple rigging. There's nothing crazy going on here, but that's including my upgrades. I added extra toggles to this that they also did in a week. And this one is a bit bouncier and more like, you know, squishy than the other two. Repo and Bing Tang were very, very close in price paid. Both of these just scraped over $100. We've got 90 euros for the SkyTeaa Ball Live2D model. This one was also a pretty fast turnaround time, just a couple weeks, being submitted to be May 13th. This did also, I think every single one of these included approval of model art before the start of rigging. I'm not trying to choose favorites, but oh my god, it's so cute. And their illustrations are really great. They're offering a lot of spooky stuff right now. Look at all that spooky stuff. But the ball models are still currently available. They've also got these speed Live2D models, which start at $40. So cheap. So I picked the slightly more expensive. Honestly, I might pick up one of these from them because I really like the art style. And then their detailed Live2D rigs are less than 500 too. So honestly, everything they offer is really great. They have a very bold, cartoony style, which I'm obviously very drawn to as a plushy, cartoony style VTuber. We don't have a lot of the anime vibe here. All right, let me find the ball. Sky ball. There it is. Oh, I love the art. I'm obsessed with the art. This one has a good amount of movement. It's very, very cute. I did not get any upgrades for this one, but I love how the head tilts. I love how the whole body moves, honestly, with this piece. I know this might be the most orb sky we have, but yeah, it has pretty good tilt. You can see the rigging quality go up with this price. I have not edited this to match my mouth movements. So the mouth tracking could be improved with me just fixing it so that it matches my personal mouth movement better. These are all strictly right as I got them from the artist, but I really appreciate, you can see that the head tracking movement, there's a lot more body movement in this piece. The arms slide left to right as well as the body. It has a slight turn, which you can see with my stars on my hips. You can see them stretch and move. The feet also turn a little bit. We've got X and Y and up and down. The up and down movement, I think, is what really impresses me about this model. Like, that's a pretty severe lean. We've also got shading on this one, which the first model that we got even a little bit of shading on was our MLA one down here. But you see a lot more rendering in this model's artwork, and in all of the orb models' artwork, I think. That's our 5th most expensive at just $100. Next up, we've got Bing Tang. This one, I think, is one of the most unique options I found. This is a Live2D chibi charm. The delivery was May 15th, so a little less than a month wait for this one. That includes getting the art approved. They are on opposite time zone for me. So you can see the delivery here was at 3 a.m. They almost exclusively messaged me between like the hours of like 3 and 6 a.m. So I assumed we were on opposite clocks. And considering that, they did a really good job. Here it is. I love the concept of this model. I think it's so funny. They've actually added, I think, more options since I last looked at their page. I'm just gonna hang myself over here real quick. Don't mind me. This one has a ton of movement. We paid $110 for this one. So this was just a few dollars more than the orb. You can see there's quite a lot of fun movement with this. We've got a big eye bounce when blinking. It's got a lot of bounce to it, as if we are being held on a bag. It's a very simple way to capture the vibe of being an actual bag charm. I looked at their page and I was like, I want so many of their model designs, because they have a lot of really fun YCH Chibi Blob Live2D, one that can follow your mouse. We've got this fun, blocky, almost Minecraft style. Then you've got the charm style, which is here, still at 110, still available to request. And then at 110 as well, we have the art and rig for a actual, standing model. Just tons of options that are very inexpensive. They have a lot of really amazing options for a very good price. And then last, we have Miyuuna. Now, Miyuuna, I believe, is probably, just from the wait time, the most well-known of the people that I commissioned. I think their showcases also scream to me like they're a bit more of an old hat at this. This was my longest wait time. This was delivered June 27th, 2026. So, again, my longest wait time was still only 2 months, which is really, really good. We paid $185, which I believe is the base price for this. I don't believe I added any upgrades. There it is! I really like, this one has multiple mouth forms. We've got a very bouncy eye. We've got blink activated ears, which you can really see going. It's got a lot of extra movement happening in the model. They really tried to keep the spirit of how their models move while still honoring the fact that I have like a furry avatar. You can see, instead of just having 2 mouth forms on this one, there are several that it cycles through, which you can kind of get a sense of when I do the e, o, u. So it does have some like mouth shape tracking in order to coordinate that, but it has a bit more of that like silly style. The tail has a really great wag to it. Like I said, the blink activated ears. I'm used to a lot of my ears, so you can see with my poke model, my ears are actually attached to my eyebrow movement, which gives a much more natural animal feel. Whereas this one being attached to the eyes just gives it's just got that really extreme bounce. There's 3 different angles. The neutral rest, the concerned eyebrow, and the angry eyebrow that it can cycle between. We've got the bouncy arms. I do love how this model moves on its legs. It's very, very silly. It's got a good amount of X and Y, right and left movement. And like I said, for 2 months turnaround was not bad at all. Miyuuna does a lot of model work as well. I think pretty much everybody offering these chibi style models has their bread and butter in VTubing, like normal VTubing work. Even Miyuuna, who like overall had one of the more expensive chibi models, they still have pretty affordable options. You've got your VTuber art commissions, which starting at, $450 for like a full body is a really great deal. And then down here, they've got full body art and rig for just shy of $1,000. So you can see overall, this is our most expensive person on the list. But the scuff models are very funny, very cute. They have a lot of different options to them for using them. And like I said, I think I'd be able to. These are all just base as they come. So I can probably improve some of the movement just with how I open up the tracking and play with it a little bit for my own personal experience. But that is all 7 of these models. Like I said, we had a grand total of $621. Let me pull up my list again here. With our first model coming in at just about $23. We've got our sock puppet for $41. We've got our bed YCH for $73. That's including a bunch of extras that I added on. Our very rotund little chibi model for $86.90, including a couple extra toggles for for a tongue toggle and a sleeping toggle. We've got our Repo ball model for exactly the price we paid, $90. They're now like $95-ish, I suppose. They go for $108 now instead of $102. Then our Bing Tang model, our cute little charm model for $110. with lots of other really great options. And then our Miyuuna or Anger Rice Ball for 185. So you can see, you can get quite a wide range of options. And it's important to definitely, I would say, use the resource of the 2D avatar page liberally. Look at the, I mean, even here, there's brand new, every single day, there's brand new people that are moved to the top. So you can find a lot of really great options. You can find great options for both PNG and VTubers here. So I definitely recommend checking out VGEN and using it if you're looking for any models. If you don't want to take my advice and you want to jump straight to VTubing, I definitely would recommend, I think, you know, one of the best, I think actually the best value that I got for a model here is absolutely from Papercraft, aka Gloomy Maid. I think that this $23 model or this $40 model, while they are silly and scuffed, you get the absolute most movement out of these. Granted, your movement will be different depending on what kind of tracking you have, but it's a very simple rig for the artist that is incredibly lively on screen. It has a good amount of left and right. It maintains its very silly vibe. So if things don't look perfect, it doesn't matter because the model is so silly. But for $23 or $40, if you want to get the slightly more involved one, I would say you can't go wrong here. So definitely, again, not sponsored. Definitely, if you want to get into the streaming space in general, I highly recommend making yourself a VGEN account, taking a look through everything. There are so many artists that make so much different content. You can get anything and everything you're looking for on here, I think. And the process, because VGEN goes through and verifies their artists, you can be sure that someone has looked at this person's account and verified that they do their commissions, they do them on time, and they are not submitting any AI slop or shit like that. You do not have to worry about that. And if you do find someone that got accepted and starts putting AI slop on there, I actually saw somebody who was talking about how they had given an artist a image of their Sona, and then that artist had put the artwork through AI, and they reported them, and VGEN took down their account. They were booted from the platform because they are very loudly anti-AI. No generative AI right on the front page. So we support the hell out of this website. They do a great job. It's a great platform, like I said, if you want to take commissions or if you're involved in taking commissions and you're looking for a better option. Their fees aren't super high. Their discoverability is pretty good. And it's a very safe platform. It's a safe platform for both commissioner and artist. I think I've only ever encountered one scam commissioner. And you can really easily avoid scam commissioners by simply not accepting external links. All references can be uploaded directly to VGEN. It has stuff for tracking the progress of commissions and things like that. It's really great. You can keep an eye on all of your artists. It sends you updates when things are getting moved around. It's really great. Not sponsored content for VGEN. I just really like the platform, and this video wouldn't have been possible without it, honestly. Let this be a lesson. There are amazing artists that might not have the name brand recognition available right now that make incredible pieces of artwork that you've just never heard of. And you can find them with just a little bit of searching. All that being said, I think I've yapped your all's ear off enough for today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for enjoying another episode of Drawn Together with me. Please do check out VGEN, the commissioning platform. That's VGEN. That's it. And I hope you all appreciated 7 models under $200. If you really want to jump into getting a model ASAP, you've got lots of amazing options with all of these different artists that we talked about today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment your favorite artist of today, or comment other artists I should check out below. I would love to see people's suggestions for other artists I should try commissioning on VGEN. I'm SkyTeaa, this was Drawn Together, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks for another wonderful interview. Thank you for being here, and goodbye!